Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 132nd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Killer B. He calls himself Constantine in this game, but it is actually Brotherhood member Killer B, and he has bought the Scipio faction. Then we have Princess Luna, who's also bought the Scipio faction, and Princess Luna is our newest recruit to the Brotherhood, so it'll be interesting to see how well she does here. As I say, she's our newest recruit, and as I say, she's bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then we have Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who has also bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Carthage faction. So there's our team there. I know Steve Longshanks and Killer B have been playing RTW for maybe 8 or 9 years now, so they've got a lot of experience there, and are real Brotherhood and RTW veterans. This old Carthage army of mine is, as I said, it's a very ancient Carthage army that I might have been playing with about 7 or 8 years ago. If you notice, I've got no cavalry in this army, because this army was bred to actually fight pike armies head on. So I've got no cavalry. I've got 4 slingers, and I think it's about 15 sacred band pikemen. So it should be interesting to see how well they do. But you wait till you see the other team. This should be a classic battle for you to watch. And here is that other team. We have Greeks clansman Heracles. A lot of you may well remember that Heracles is a really great fighter with the pike factions, as all the Greek clans are. So that's Greeks Heracles, and for this battle he's bought the Rome SBQR faction. Then we have RTW player Anivas, or Anivas, I think his name is, who's bought the who's bought the Greek cities. Then we have SB, who I believe is COH Spider Pig, who has bought the Seleucid, or Seleucid, depends on how you pronounce it, faction. And then we have King's Indy, who has bought the Rome Bruto faction. That's a pretty good team there. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at the Spartan army and the Seleucid army here. You can see here, this player has bought 20 units of Spartans, okay? But if you look at the upgrades on each unit, he's only got 3 upgrades on each unit. Now, as you know, the Spartans have got excellent morale and have got 2 hit points, so they really are elite infantry. Very difficult to kill, great defensive troops, but also really great attacking troops too. So it'll be interesting to see how 20 units of Spartans would do against our armies. But they have only got 3 upgrades on each, so it'll be interesting to see. And now let's have a look at Spider Pig's Seleucid army here. As you can see, he's got 3 silver shield units there at the front of his army formation, and he's got the silver shield pikemen there behind. As you know, with those long pikes, difficult to fight down to kill the men on the other end there. And then we have the infamous Seleucid tank cavalry. As you've seen in other battle videos of mine, you know that they're covered in armour from almost head to toe. Very difficult to kill. Great charge. And they can be battle-winning cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do in this battle. So that looks pretty good army there, and the Spartan army looks pretty good too. This has got all the ingredients to be a great battle. Hope you enjoy it. At this very early stage of the battle, as you can see over on our right flank, Greeks Heracles has put all his infantry into testudo formation. And if you notice that his Greek cities ally has moved over by the side of him here. In this battle, my Carthage army is going to shadow the Greek cities army. As I say, this old Carthage army of mine was bred just to fight pike armies. So what I would do is just to kind of shadow those Greek cities units there. And when they look threatened or when they attack, I should then move into to counter-attack. Here you can see a couple of, well, about 4 of the Spartan units have moved into attack. If you notice, Princess Luna is putting that particular unit into Testudo. Now this is the, what you would say, the classic defence of a Roman general when he's being attacked by pike units, is to put that unit into Testudo. As you can see, it makes it very difficult for the pike units to kill, and also it slows them down as well. If you notice, our ally here, his ally there, has brought over Heraclius, his SPQR infantry, and has just ran them over and put them into Testudo. Now, that's quite a good tactic there, because he's run them over and is attracting pilot fire from our ally. Well, of course, if he puts his units into Testudo, that's a really good protection against the pilots there. So that's a nice little move there by Heraclius, showing his years of experience. There you go, he's going to charge forward again. It wouldn't surprise me if he's put his units into Testudo again. There you go. See, ran forward again, attracting the pilot fire, but in Testudo, obviously the pilots would do less damage. So, nice little move there by Heraclius. As you can see, those Greek city units are attacking my ally now, so I'm moving some of my Carthage Sacred Band units forward. My Sacred Band units are well upgraded, as they have to be to take on the 2 hit points and excellent morale of the Spartan units. As you can see, I'm moving forward there. You notice that the Seleucid cavalry were about to charge in there, but I think he realised that his Greek city's allies had still got his pikes down. So obviously, friendly pikes kill friendly cavalry. If he'd have carried on with that charge, he would have probably lost a lot of cavalry on his own allies' pikes there. So nice little move to back off there with that Seleucid cavalry. As you can see, here is a real tussle at this point in the battle, with my Carthage Sacred Band moving forward to counter-attack those Spartan units there. If you notice, I'm keeping most of my army back in reserve, because I notice there's a lot of Spartans still left in reserve themselves there. So I don't want to commit all my army yet, and I'm keeping an eye on the whole battlefield just in case I might have to need to send support anywhere. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that Steve and King's Indy are in a very aggressive battle here on the left flank. It wouldn't surprise me if we're going to get some cavalry hits going in. And can you see the Brutii cavalry going in? There you go, going, and bang! As that cavalry hits. If you notice, Steve is counter-attacked with his cavalry as well. And that is some kind of aggressive action here going over on the left flank. If you notice that our ally Killer is sending over some reinforcements, and if you notice, the enemy team are sending over some reinforcements as well. So that left flank seems quite aggressively attacked at the moment. Here over on our right flank, can you see how aggressive the enemy are being here? Both the enemy SPQR and Seleucid cavalry, tank cavalry, are charging into my ally. If you notice, I've moved a couple of my Carthage pike units forward there. Don't forget, pike units have got a bonus against cavalry, so I'm moving those 2 units forward to counter that cavalry attack, because otherwise I got a feeling that combination of cavalry hit might have broken through our ally on the right flank there. So if you notice that both my Carthage units that are very well upgraded stood their ground there and helped to repel that cavalry attack. But if you can see the dead on the battlefield, just in that little area there, you can see how intense those cavalry charges were and how much damage they did. So if you notice, I've moved some more of my Carthage Sacred Band units over. I've got my slingers in the background there, and I've got them in close order because they're not being targeted by archers, and I'm using those to target the cavalry. There you go. Anytime their enemy cavalry comes into range, I'm peppering them with slingshots from my my slingers there. But if you notice here on our right flank, again, it looks like the enemy tank Seleucid cavalry plus Heraclius' SPQR cavalry are making a concerted attack there on our right flank. Meanwhile, over here on the right centre, you can see there's an intense battle going on there between my pike units and the Greek cities and our Roman allies and enemies there as well. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see that we're looking like we're not doing too bad against the enemy Brutii enemy units there. Remember, the Brutii are green, our allies are blue. Once again, over on our right flank here, you can see that the enemy have broken through there with that cavalry charge and will probably now target my slingers. As you can see now, they're targeting the slingers. But I'm just thinking to myself, well, if they want to target them, carry on. Well, we carry on fighting the enemy infantry there. But we must be aware of the cavalry possibly charging in behind. They may well go over to our left flank. There you go. Can you see the enemy cavalry are moving over to our left flank here to smash into the rear of Steve's engaged infantry? Can you see them coming over? That's a nice little move there by the enemy team. That's what you call battlefield awareness. They spotted a target, a soft target that they thought, and now they're charging everything over there. I think Steve spotted them coming and managed to turn some of his infantry, but the impacts of all those cavalry going into him, plus he's being attacked in the front by the Brutii infantry, that was a heck of a hit there. Just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation. Over here on the left flank, you can see that things were looking quite good for us. If you noticed earlier, but now, since that cavalry charge, things are not looking very good on that left flank. In fact, it might even break. If you notice in the centre here, things are quite quiet. Both armies there, enemy and ally, have sent reinforcements to the flanks. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see that the battle's really up in the air. If you notice that some of the enemy Greek cities are trying to get behind me to charge into the back of my engaged sacred band units. Did you see it? It's a real tussle here over on the right flank. A real infantry versus infantry, blood and guts battle, if you like, here on the right flank. I just hope that my pikemen will be able to hold, because I'm facing not just the Greek cities, but also a lot of the enemy SBQR infantry. As you see, I've got my Scipioid allies there as well, helping, so hopefully we'll be able to hold on the right. But with all the enemy that we've got around us, I think that could be up in the air a little bit there. Let's say over on our left flank here, I'm not sure how things are going to look now after that massive enemy cavalry charge from behind. Let's see what happens next. Can you see Killer's Scipii cavalry now charging into the back of Indy's Brutii infantry there? Nice little move there by Killer. Nice support again. New players watching this, remember what we always say in these battle videos. Teamwork is essential if you want to win these team battles. Nice little move there by Killer B. But still, with all this enemy cavalry here and still the enemy units, things are not looking very good on this left flank for the Brotherhood team. In fact, I just think I saw one of our Scipio generals has just been killed there, so the morale of his troops are going to drop quite considerably now. Meanwhile, over here on the right flank, we're still managing to hold. I think I've just lost my general there. You see, I'm forcing my if you notice there's a Greek city Spartan unit in behind my sacred band, attacking my units from behind there. They managed to get a unit in behind there, so that was a nice little move there by the Spartan general. Let's just pause the game for a second here. As you can see, Heraclius is bringing an SBQR unit around the flank there with a view to getting behind. As you can see, that Spartan unit is now attacking my engaged Carthage units in the rear. And it's all to play for here on the right flank. But over on the left flank, can you see the enemy have kind of almost broken through? And my guess is they're going to come over here and then try and charge into the back of our engaged fighting infantry. As you can see, the enemy Seleucid pike units there are now moving forward as well. We've still got a couple of really badly battle damaged units on the left flank there. But it looks, for all intents and purposes, that our left, after a ferocious battle, has finally folded, and they're now bringing their victorious troops over to the right. Wouldn't surprise me if the Seleucid general tried to target my Carthage general there, knowing if he kills my general, my troops' morale will drop if he hits that unit. And if you notice, I spotted that and turned my pike unit to face that Seleucid cavalry attack there. If you notice, my allies' Scipio units around me are beginning to rout, but because I managed to turn my pike units in time to face that attacking cavalry, I'm just hoping that we'll be able to rout that Seleucid cavalry there. And there you go. You can see the Seleucid cavalry now are starting to rout. But if you notice, there's a lot of enemy Brutio units come over. If you notice, I've put at the back there, oh, there's a nice little attack here by Killer straight into the rear of the engaged enemy troops there. A nice little hit by Killer there. Notice how many units he routed with that cavalry hit. If you notice at the back of my fighting Carthage units, I've put one Sacred Band unit facing the rear to stop any enemy units charging into the back of my engaged troops. That unit's worth its weight in gold there, because it's actually stopped them managing to get into the back of my troops. So so that was a reasonable tactical move there by myself. If you notice on the snow, with the snow on the ground, can you see how many Spartans are dead? All the red cloaked Spartans on the ground there, masses of them. Meanwhile, here you can see the enemy have actually got in behind us. Can you see the Seleucid units and the enemy Brutio units are actually in behind us now, attacking? If you notice that Killer's got those couple of cavalry units, he's moving all over the battlefield, striking vulnerable targets, weakening enemy forces. Really nice little move there by him. If you notice now, I'm turning my Carthage Sacred Band units against those Seleucid pikemen there. And that one unit I put at the back there is still stopping the enemy units from coming in through that gap and in behind us. So that unit's doing really well holding there. As you can see, as I said before, Killer's moving those cavalry. They're very battle damaged cavalry units, but he's moving around the battlefield, hitting vulnerable targets, getting his full cavalry charge bonus, pulling back out. Remember what we always talk about, the cavalry charge bonus: hit, damage, straight back out. Just going to pause the game here for a second, so you can see here that the Seleucid pike units are still there. The Greek cities general is still there, but if you notice that Killer's attacking that unit with his infantry, I'm pushing forward with my very battle damaged Carthage units that I've got left. Just to say, as I said before, look at all the red cloaked Spartans in that massive pile there in the snow, all the dead. It goes to show how intense the fighting was in that one little spot, let alone all over the other battlefield, all over the battlefield, where there's been intense fighting everywhere by the looks of it. So that's the situation there. You can see that the enemy have still got units all over the place, and we're still trying to hold the best we can there. You see Heraclius, his general's still alive there, and he's moving it into attack on that left flank.
Allies are leaderless. Their general has been killed.
You see there's a general overview of the battle situation at the moment. As you can see, my Carthage Sacred Band is still pushing forward there, trying to take out those long-piked Seleucid units. My guys have been fighting all the way through the battle, so my guess is they're very tired or even exhausted. Just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation. Now, I just paused the game here so you can have a look at the length of those Seleucid pikes in comparison to my Sacred Band pikes. Can you see the difference in the length? So that's what I mean when I say it's difficult to be able to fight down those long pikes to get to the Seleucid pikemen to kill them. So that's the difference between the pike lengths there. Let's say my Carthage Sacred Band, have got several units there which were pushing forward, so I'm hoping that the weight of my units will kind of break through those long pikes of Seleucid pikemen there. You see Killer's got units in behind the Seleucid pikemen there. Notice he's got cavalry and infantry in behind. Good tactical move there by Killer. New players watching this once again, you see, bang, as he's charging in with his cavalry units. Wouldn't surprise me if those Seleucid units started to rout. Nice little hit there. Hammer and anvil attack. My pikemen, the anvil. Killer's cavalry and infantry, the hammer. Hammer and anvil attack. Nice move there by Killer. So over on this right flank now, we seem to have beaten most of the Seleucid pikemen that are there. And now, if you notice, I've started to move my infantry over to the centre there a little bit more, where I'm going to start taking on that Seleucid silver shield legionnaire infantry there. And they've, I think the Seleucid generals just admitted defeat there. So now we've still got Heraclius' general left here, and I think King's Indies general still there as well. So there, I'm not sure if they may be the last couple of enemy units on the battlefield now. There you go, you can see the Brutio general there in amongst his troops as they charge forward. I've moved some of my Sacred Band units round to the flank and are now attacking. I've got their pikes up, so they're just charging forward with their swords now, just to take out that final unit. Just looking on the battlefield here, if you look us right over on what was our left flank, you can see how intense the fighting was by looking at the dead there. I think that's where Steve Longshanks was fighting to start off with. And then if you look at the centre, can you see how quiet the fighting, it's hardly any fighting in the centre. And then once again over on the right flank here and the right centre, you can see how really intense the fighting was just by looking at the dead on the battlefield. And the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to both teams here. There were some great moves, great attack, great defence, really well played to both teams. I thought Heracles, Anivas, Spider Pig and King Indy and the other team played extremely well. Really well done, guys. As you can see, it was a close victory, so it was a close battle there. Really well done to my team. I thought Killer, Luna and Steve Longshanks played extremely well there. There was great support, really great tactical movements around the battlefield. I hope I managed to catch most of that during the filming. Some really good cavalry hits, what I would call intelligent cavalry hits with battle damaged cavalry units. Here's some statistics for you to have a look at here. If you look at the kills that each one of my Sacred Band units have made, you'll see I think one of them's got over 200 kills. So as you can see, the kill rate for the casualties I got myself is pretty good. So, but remember, those Sacred Band units are very well upgraded. So I'm quite pleased with the way that ancient army did. So I hope you enjoyed the battle. And once again, really well played to everybody in the game. And look forward to seeing you soon. The Spartan Commander saying bye for now.